flawless evening in Orlando, Florida. There's a title to fight for, and for one side, a playoff position to protect. Welcome to the 2016 Dr. Pepper ACC Championship Game between the Clemson Tigers and the Virginia Tech Hokies, part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. And welcome to Camping World Stadium. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Samantha Ponder will join us. Well, do you like clarity or chaos for the selection committee? We're about to find out in the next 4 hours what it's going to be as they mull over their final rankings. Kirk, the pressure is on Clemson. They've got that position to play for as well as a conference title, but pressure has brought out the best for this team in the last couple of years. They've got the championship game experience. None of the Hokies have ever played for a title. Dabo Swinney told me he hopes that's going to be a big edge for Clemson. I think they arrive a very fresh team, but there still is that playoff position to protect. The Tide did their job, so did the Huskies.
Clemson's played with a different attitude since their loss to Pitt. If you look at the rankings, Bama took care of business. Ohio State didn't have to play. Washington won last night. It leaves Clemson. There are a lot of people around the country that are anxious to watch Clemson tonight to see if they put that final kind of chink in the armor there to be able to show what they can do.
Tigers offense and Deshaun Watson have accomplished so much in the ACC. The one thing Deshaun hasn't done yet is face a Bud Foster Virginia Tech defense, and he's up to the challenge, he says.
Well, he is. The problem is you really don't know what you're going to see from Bud Foster. He can do so many different things. But I think the experience of Deshaun Watson allows Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott to feel pretty good about what they want to do. The big thing to me, no matter what Virginia Tech comes out in, is Wayne Gallman in the running game. They've got to be established. They've looked great the last 2 weeks running the football. The safeties are back. You're going to see number 9 a lot. You also see number 4 running the ball. When Clemson runs the ball, it affects the safeties. Here's South Carolina last week. You run the ball, the safeties start to get impacted. Their eyes start to come down. They start to think about supporting the run. Now you've got one-on-one opportunities with Mike Williams. Speaking of Mike Williams, I think they got to try to find a way to isolate him tonight. To look for some big plays in the passing game to number 7. If he is left alone against a very, very aggressive Virginia Tech defense, do not be surprised to see Deshaun Watson some point take 2 or 3 shots downfield, regardless of the situation, just to try to find those one-on-one chances because he's just so good.
Yeah, the one weakness has been turnovers. They've been turnover prone. Hokies know they have to create a couple. Meanwhile, Justin Fuente, first year taking over for the legend Frank Beamer in Blacksburg, has his team in a championship game with a first-year quarterback. Gerard Evans, interesting story. Second oldest of 9 kids, comes from Dallas, went to the Air Force to run the flex bone, but ripped up his knee, so transferred to Trinity Valley Community College out in Texas. That was the same conference where Cam Newton excelled. He broke all kinds of records, suffered a wrist injury, had some surgery, and came to run Fuente's offense. It's the same thing he ran at junior college at Kirk. He broke all Tech's records in his first year of major college ball.
I think he even surprised the Virginia Tech coaches with how athletic he is and his ability to run the ball. That'll have to be on display tonight. They're going to have to try to spread Clemson's defense out. He is going to be a big part of the running game. If they can run with the quarterback tonight, the reason that's important is he has so many good weapons on the outside at wide receiver. If he runs the ball, you spread Clemson out, and then you take some shots one-on-one with these receivers. We've had Clemson a few times this year. They've been known to give up some plays when they're left on an island with their corners. And I think if you're Virginia Tech, why not take some chances? You have nothing to lose.
Evans is a confident guy. His second college game ever, the game you saw at Bristol Motor Speedway, 150,000. He believes he's born to quarterback a team on these big stages. We'll see if he's ready for the Clemson Tigers. We'll see if an upset of Clemson perhaps opens a door for a Big Ten team tonight in the playoffs. To Samantha Ponder downstairs.
Hey, Coach, with this much on the line, I imagine you don't have to say a whole lot to motivate your guys, but what was the last thing you wanted them to hear from you before they ran out here, especially the guys who are playing in their last conference game tonight?
Well, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. They earned their way here tonight. But we got to earn the trophy on the field here, too. So just really proud of them. Go cut it loose. It's all about this game, these 4 quarters. Championship football comes down to a few plays. Got to play every play like it's the one.
Coach, we know the talent that you have on this offensive side of the ball, but obviously Bud Foster likes to dial up some interesting things, brings a lot of pressure. How does that impact what you're asking of Deshaun tonight?
We just got to execute the play call. You know, he's a great coach. We got good coaches. You know, it just comes down to execution. He's well prepared for what he's going to see tonight.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks, Coach. Chris?
Justin Fuente is the play caller on offense. And we'll see the Hokies kick it away here. They won the toss, deferred. So Joey Sly, excellent kickoff man. The junior will boot it. Artavis Scott and C.J. Fuller waiting for the Tigers. conference title, and for Clemson, a playoff spot on the line tonight here in O-Town. Slide does not permit returns very often. So, Kirk, here comes that prolific Tigers offense.
Yeah, this is an offense we were all very anxious to see play this year. These are the keys to success tonight for Dabo Swinney, who you just heard was Sam Ponder. I think the running game, we've talked all week about it. Gallman and Deshaun Watson need to have a big night. Explosive tonight in the pass game. And the big thing, and Clemson fans know this, they got to take care of the ball. Sometimes they've been their own worst enemy, whether it's been interceptions or turnovers. And if you look back at some of the games that have been close or games that have cost them, it's been the turnovers.
Fewer rushing yards this year than last, but he could be a huge force again running the ball. It's been a weak area for this Tech defense, stopping running quarterbacks. Empty set on the first play. And Watson does take off and navigates up the middle. Chick-fil-A impact players tonight, Kirk.
You have to start with the importance of Deion Kane and Mike Williams because of their ability to get downfield. Deion Kane has been a great story and a great compliment to Williams when he gets his chances. And how about the Edmonds brothers, both Tremaine and Terrell tonight? Big-time talented players that continue to get better and more familiar with the scheme, playing a lot faster late in the year.
Watson pitches it out, and Artavis Scott as a first down. He crosses the 36-yard line, forced out by Brandon Face on the corner.
And before this game started, down on the field talking to Tony Elliott, the offensive coordinator for Clemson, and he was anxious to get this game started because he was very unclear on what Bud Foster might do. And so he said, you know, tonight early, we're going to give him a lot of formations, a lot of different looks, just to kind of feel out the scheme that Virginia Tech's playing, and then we'll have an idea of how we want to attack.
Watson play action on first down. Rolls out, delivers across the middle. That's the sliding Mike Williams, the stud receiver coming off a monster performance against South Carolina.
And the beauty of being able to feel a defense out is having Deshaun Watson, because he's so experienced. And what I've seen from Virginia Tech here, especially that last play, they're playing man, very aggressive. They're determined to stop the run, so you have some one-on-one opportunities.
And a handoff. Gallman picks his way down near the 40. A very sharp start for this Clemson offense.
It reminds me a lot of the last 2 weeks. Since they lost to Pitt, they have not messed around against Wake Forest and also last week against South Carolina. 8 drives, 7 touchdowns in the first quarter in the last 2 weeks.
Against the Panthers, even in the loss, they had 630 yards offense. Right. It wasn't the offense that lost the game.
Yeah, but it was a different kind of way they attacked.
Watson to Scott. A couple of blocks on the edge and then a hard hit. Short gain coming up was Andrew Matuapuaka, the linebacker, the leader in this defense.
You know, you go back to that Pitt game, they had 50 yards rushing. That's not Clemson football. With, you know, Deshaun Watson can throw it all over the place. But Dabo Swinney wants balance. They want Wayne Gallman. They want Deshaun Watson to be able to run the ball because it opens up every other phase of their offense.
Gallman again picks his way left side and bursts for another first down, or at least right at the marker at the 31. Nigel Williams tackle stopped him. It will be a first down.
Guillermo does a nice job pulling around there. Jordan Leggett also getting around. This is again more of what we've seen from Clemson in the last 2 weeks. Aggressive mindset, but a balanced attack with the run and the quick throws.
Sean looks back and flips it on the screen, and Jordan Leggett, the big tight end, has blockers. Knifes inside the 20. And Clemson, with chunks of yardage, is now in the red zone.
Yeah, that offensive line just sat there and froze. I thought it was maybe a penalty. Look at the line. It's basically a screen pass. They're letting Virginia Tech come in, giving Leggett a chance to get the ball in his hands, and has a convoy. Interesting way of dialing up a screen pass.
You love the wrinkles late in the season. Now they'll pop pass to Scott. Artavis Scott tight ropes inside the 5-yard line. That counts as passing yards for Watson. They do it a whole lot.
Yeah, again, they're running the ball up the middle. They're going to throw a screen with a freezed alignment. A lot of tempo. They're faking the ball up the middle. Here comes Artavis Scott around the corner. Boy, they just stretch you in every way imaginable. The crowd reacting to see if he got in there, but I think he is short.
Watson Picks his way, and Sewer standing up. Clemson, crisp, efficient, impressive in this opening drive.
You look on the outside here. I think he misreads this, but because of his athletic ability, he's able to cut underneath. You see that defensive end collapse down. Both the safety and the outside linebacker all of a sudden appeared. But Deshaun Watson, with the ball in his hands, knows exactly what to do. Comes underneath Gallman for the touchdown.
Greg Hugel, for the 57th time this season, converts the point after. 9 plays, 75 yards in 3:13. Watson 5 of 5 on the drive and the rushing touchdown. Clemson didn't even need a 3rd down play as they swiftly claim a 7-0 lead. And now Hugel to kick it away. Henry Murphy at the goal line. Setter steps across the 27-yard line. It's a great quarterback year in the ACC. Lamar Jackson, obviously some ridiculous numbers, but Gerard Evans, Kurt, the only other guy to pass for 3,000 and rush for 700 this season.
Think about that. While we've all marveled about Lamar Jackson's season, Gerard Evans quietly on a national level goes over 3,000 through the air in this first year of the offense and 700 on the ground. I think tonight he's going to have to play one of his better games, as you just saw. It's going to be a challenge for Virginia Tech to slow down Deshaun Watson. So running the ball will be big and making accurate throws as well.
Evans rolls out, pressured immediately and dropped for a short loss there by Cleveland Farrell. Clemson's been a force, now 43 sacks this season.
Yeah, the energy from the last 2 weeks continues for Clemson. I mean, this team, you and I called their game in Charlotte last year against Carolina. It's early, but they are playing with a real purpose these last few weeks. You can see the start, the energy they have.
Now shovel pass inside, and Sam Rogers, a versatile, tough back, knocked down after a short game, and now it's going to be 3rd and very long. This offensive line for the Hokies up against it tonight.
Yeah, they really are. Eric Gallo in the middle is undersized for a center, and think about what he's dealing with. Dexter Lawrence, Carlos Watkins, some of the best interior defensive tackles, not only in the ACC, but the country.
Clemson rushes 4. Evans tries to go over the top, overthrows his receiver Isaiah Ford. Jadar Johnson was the closest to it.
Be real careful with Jadar Johnson in the middle of the field. Has as much range as any safety in the country, and a ball hawk. Really anticipates and reads the quarterback's eyes well.
Only guy in this defense with more than 1 interception. He's got 5 of first-team All-ACC safety. So Mitchell Ludwig, the Hokies punter, gets away a nice boot, really good one, and it drives Scott back inside the 20, and he's going to be tackled right there. Best they could hope for. Tech pinning back Clemson as Anthony Shigog made the tackle, but Watson and company back on offense, up a touchdown. Empty backfield for Watson. Surveys, looks left. Again, it's Scott. A huge cushion. Doesn't matter what they do, they can't win right now. It's either interference or they take the underneath stuff.
Well, I think you've got to give him the cushion, and you know that you're going to mix it up. Bud Foster, he's a very confident defensive coordinator. He'll mix up the looks. I think you're better off trying to give him a bit of a cushion and not give up the big play. Allow them to maybe move the ball down methodically and squeeze them in the red zone and force field goals. Clemson's going to move the ball on you. They have against everybody they've played. Key is either getting turnovers or making them kick field goals in the red zone.
And Watson fires back to Williams, who is wrestled down short of the first set. Alexander with a nice tackle.
Yeah, it is. And there's, again, he gave him a little bit of a cushion, but he's able to react to the ball, create this 3rd down. That's a heck of a matchup physically. Mike Williams, 6'3", 225 against Adonis Alexander at 6'3", 193.
There's some corners playing on Sunday who will see number 7 next year, who are dreading that day. He's just a beast.
He sure is.
Well, Clemson very comfortable needing just 3 on 3rd down. They have been all year. All kinds of options for Elliott to call on. And Watson, with a bunch of time, fires over the head of Jordan Leggett. Here comes the flag again. Now, Terrell Edmonds will get flagged this time. I think it was over Leggett's head. And the uncatchable is what the Hokies are lobbying for.
Pass interference.
Defense number 22. That was an automatic first down, spot and foul.
Look at a 6'5" tight end. That was a very high throw.
Yeah, Chris, I'm with Justin Fuente and the Virginia Tech coaches. There's about 5 of them out on the field saying that the ball is not catchable. And a lot of times you'll say, well, the defender made it where it's not catchable. But in this case, that ball was well over his head. And that was a 3rd down play.
Yep. Second pass interference on the series moves it to the Hokies 45. Watson again, a design run. Stiff arm, escapes. So elusive, so hard to get a direct hit on.
Well, and it's also one of their better players, Tremaine Edmonds, as an outside linebacker that he gave a stiff arm to there. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's 235 pounds right there, stiff arm, and if he makes that tackle, you know, you're in a much better position. Instead of 2nd and short, ball almost came out there, but now all of a sudden they're at 2nd and short. Would have been 2nd and 10.
Tigers playing with tempo, handed to Gallman again. Another first down near the 20, and Gallman will be over 1,000 yards for the season very quickly the way this is going.
Just has a different look to him. There's a spring in his step. He's been, as you said, he's been bottled up for most of the year, and I think frustrated by it. It's been a very different set of circumstances these last 2 weeks now leading into this game, the 3rd game in a row.
Watson still got it. Flips it over the middle, like it wide open, and waltzes in. Tigers are clicking.
So we talked about this in the open. When you run the ball and you run the ball and you run the ball, watch what happens to the defense. And here's the receiver who's going to slide in behind him. You run the ball, now you're going to put the ball in there. Look at the defense reacting, and it just makes it very, very easy. Nobody picks him up. Great read, great feel by Watson and the rhythm of this Clemson Tiger offense.
Perhaps nobody in college football prepares longer and better, more diligently than Watson. He relished the challenge of facing the great Bud Foster's defense for the first time in his career. It's off to a pretty darn good start. Watson 9 for 9, has run for 1, and now thrown for 1. Hokies in deep trouble. Murphy again deep. Hugo boots it high, and he'll have a chance at the 5. Special teams, an area that Clemson's really improved this year. Kickoff coverage, clearly a weakness, perhaps cost them the national championship game. They're much better this year. Hokies in minus territory, -2 yards. Tigers have 134. You feel some urgency here, don't you, Kirk? It's very early.
It is. I still think patience is key. As bad as this game feels, you got to kind of stick to your game plan and what you thought would be able to be effective offensively.
In a hurry, they just get it off, and they feed Sam Rogers, the senior from Mechanicsville, Virginia, kind of a hybrid H-back, running back, special teams guy. Dylan Farrell met him.
And they pushed him back 10 yards after the whistles blew. They are really fired up on the defensive side of the ball, and they're not respecting or fearing Gerard Evans in his passing game at all up to this point.
Big fella just banging straight ahead. I think he'd have to get hit by 4 or 5 targetings to get knocked out of the game.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. You know, what I think Justin Fuente inherited is a team that doesn't have an elite back. All those years with Frank Beamer and the amazing running backs that they've had, you know, they just don't have that in the backfield to complement Gerard Evans. So the offense, for the most part, is Evans as a threat running, and then either Ford on the outside, Phillips, or Bucky Hodges trying to make a play and win one-on-one.
McMillan in the back does have some speed. He's also got some fumble issues, which has limited his playing time. Evans is pressured immediately and dropped one more time. Jalen Williams, who fills in for O'Daniel, just picks up where he left off.
Well, they bring the middle linebacker. The offensive line is thoroughly confused. Linebacker blitz comes, but watch the right tackle come down, and it just frees up the outside defensive end. Actually, take that back. Actually, a late movement there by Christian Wilkins. He was just out of the frame. They brought him down late. Right tackle didn't see him, didn't pick him up.
Ludwig, it's a fake punt, and he pops over the middle, complete. And Terrell Edmonds has a first down. We thought there might be some gadget plays in there for the Hokies. They desperately needed a spark.
A gadget? That's a jump shot. How about this? Ludwig with, this isn't a throw. Watch this form. Watch the technique.
That's
just,
what a catch.
That was a great effort to be able to come up with it.
Evans pump fake, has room up the middle. And a physical runner, not a sudden jitterbug kind of guy, but a guy who goes 238.
Yeah, he is physical. Reminds me almost of a tight end when he takes off to run with the football.
On the end around, they handed to Cam Phillips. He's knocked down after a short gain. Dabo was making the comparison to Taj Boyd, of course, the former Clemson quarterback.
I mean, Taj Boyd was a great player at Clemson, a great quarterback, and was physical. But I think this guy's even bigger than what we saw from Taj Boyd in his running style.
Tremendous arm talent, too. Hasn't had a real opportunity to flash that yet, but he can pitch it around. Goes a dart over the middle. Isaiah Ford tracks it down and scoots inside the 5. First and goal, Tech.
Well, he does a good job of not giving up on this and pulling away from Ryan Carter. Look at Boulware coming out, but see that little passing lane. It's because he was able to pull away from Ryan Carter. Carter had him initially at the line of scrimmage, but that play with the linebacker Boulware pulling out of there was a tough read, but a good job by Evans.
Evans keeps it, takes his way, and still fights down near the goal line. No signal. Nope, he stopped short. Ford, by the way, the guy who played in 2 state championship games in this stadium. He comes from Jacksonville, so he's got good memories here.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. By the way, Van Smith at 195 pounds coming up in run support. We've got a pretty good feel and indication of how physical a runner he is. That's a pretty good effort by Evans.
See when he goes down, because he did reach the ball for the goal line down. No, very close. Doesn't matter. Barrel in for the touchdown, and in the final minute of the first quarter, the Hokies get on the board. A funky drive capped by McMillan's touchdown run.
Technically a 12-play, 77-yard drive, but you go back to that fake punt that Justin Fuentes called, and after it was reviewed, it ended up staying. They had the pass interference to continue to move them deeper into Clemson territory. And that's exactly what Virginia Tech needed. The way this first quarter was going, did not have a good feel, but they come up with an answer.
Sly boots it through. Another factor, Kirk, is they took a bunch of time off the clock and they gave their defense a chance to rest and regroup and figure out what to do against Watson and company.
Yeah, that's a great point. But Foster is over there trying to come up with an idea of what to do, but one of the first times we've seen the offensive line get a good push.
Look at that. You've had fumble issues. You're down near the goal line. 2 arms on the football. Yeah.
You go back to just a few weeks ago after they lost to Georgia Tech. The very next week, they're on the road in South Bend, down 17-0. They fought back to win that game. So they believe in themselves, even though they're down.
Foster in his 30th season at Virginia Tech. Began as a linebackers coach. Process that. And Foster's defense find a way to slow down this offense. Another completion. They pitch it in tight coverage there. Ray McLeod, his first catch of the evening. I would take issue. Coaches love to spin to their guys, Kirk, but it's a lot of what Clemson's doing. You can put it on mistakes in the defense.
And again, it's a mix of a lot of different things. It's the way they stretch you out. It's the spacing of the receivers and the routes, and you have a trigger man in Deshaun Watson making very good decisions right now. He's 10 for 10 throwing the football.
Final 30 seconds of the opening quarter. And look out. Fuller's loose, and C.J. Fuller barrels down inside the 40. Tackled by Chuck Clark. When they rest Gallman, they can unleash this guy.
Linebackers here, safeties here. They're missing a gap. Nobody is there. That's something that really Bud Foster and this defense had worked so hard from where they were a year ago. That time, busted gap, and Fuller finds it.
See if Deshaun will beat the clock here and run one final plug for the end of the quarter. Takes a shot downfield. Leggett's got it, and Leggett's down to the 15-yard line. Now they say incomplete. Didn't quite hold it long enough, and Leggett down on the field. Greg Stroman, the corner who's fighting through some ankle pain, was there in coverage. End of the first quarter in Orlando. Clemson leading 14-7 and driving as they continue to look at Leggett. Back in Orlando, the Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship Game, part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Clemson leading 14-7. Leggett walked off okay. It looked like he just landed on the football. Terrific play by Greg Stroman to knock it away just before Leggett hit the ground. So we begin quarter 2 with a 2nd and 10 play. C.J. Fuller again. Hammered immediately. Motua Pawaka and a bunch of maroon jerseys on the stop. Tremaine Edwards helped out.
Yeah, much better job there by the linebackers filling those gaps. Motua Pawaka along with Edmonds. Both guys have had great years at that linebacker spot for this Hokies defense. It's a challenge when you go up against Deshaun Watson and the tempo, the motions, the jet sweeps, the run, the pass. It's a lot. Puts a lot on the safeties and the linebackers.
Second best defense in the FBS in 3rd and short situations like this. Watson weaves his way for a 1st down.
Well, you've got a lot of action going this way, but you've got a couple linemen going this way. That's what the defense is trying to figure out. Usually those guards and those linemen will lead you to where the football is going, but they try to affect the eyes with the motion. And that time Deshaun Watson just enough for the 1st down.
They have had 6 red zone turnovers, tied with Louisville for the most in the FBS. It's been the one weakness that drives Dabo Swinney crazy, because if they don't turn it over, they really haven't been stopped at all.
No, you go back to the Louisville game where they had 5 turnovers, and you think about the NC State game, they had the ball 3 times inside the 5, came away with 0 points. It's been red zone at times, lack of execution, and turnovers have been the 2 areas that have probably impacted them the most and created the most inconsistency.
That's a startling difference. When they don't turn it over more than once, they win by an average of 41
and a half. They don't just win.
They win by 6 touchdowns. Right. And that's Gallman back in the game and wrestled down immediately. So it'll be 3rd down. An interesting call here now, and a chance for the Hokies to at least force a field goal attempt.
Really, really great defense there on 2nd down for Bud Foster's bunch. Tried to go back into the boundary, and that's what you expect from Virginia Tech. Getting off of blocks. 4 or 5 different defenders pursuing and running to the football. Nowhere to go with the football that time for Wayne Gallman.
They need 7. Deshaun for the end zone. Touchdown! Leggett back in the ball game. Back in the end zone for a 2nd time. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns for the Tigers.
They flex him all the way out to the left, way out here, and you'll see him coming across. He's matched up against a corner. I mean, that shows you the athletic ability of Jordan Leggett at 6'5", 260. Way out to the outside. They put one of their top cover guys on him. Gets the separation and makes it very easy for Deshaun Watson there on 3rd down. Perfect throw right in stride.
Kind of wonder how they don't score every time. You got Leggett down there. You got Williams, who's a monster target in the red zone. You got a quarterback who can run.
You got a great running back.
Hunter,
by the way, 13 hadn't had a touch yet. We got to get Hunter Renfro in the mix.
Murphy backpedals into the end zone. We'll bring it out. Henry Murphy across the 20. 2 touchdown deficit for the Hokies. 6:07 before halftime. Off their first stop of the night. The offense would love to build momentum here. They do get the ball to begin the 2nd half. Play action. Hodges trying to go downtown on 1st down. Has Ford wide open. Collects it. Can he elude 3 Tigers? Cuts it back. Isaiah Ford makes the first big downfield pass play of the night for Tech.
And Chris, the only thing I can think of is that Clemson underestimated the arm strength, and he just got lost. Just a top receiver. Tankersley kind of lets him go. The ball comes in front of Johnson. He threw that from the left hash about 45 yards downfield, and I don't think Clemson thought he could throw the football that far. They just let Ford get behind coverage.
They should have scouted him because he's got a huge arm.
Yeah.
Well, in the red zone now. Can the Hokies get 7 out of this? 53 yards on that pass play. Phillips cuts it back. Still alive. And knocked down inside the 10. That's the kind of play, Kirk, that they gave up so often last year. They were so prone to busts and giving up big plays, even though they got to the championship game. They've really cleaned it up this year.
They really have. That was just a mental error. But think about Virginia Tech. They're just kind of bobbing and weaving here at 21-7. They had 61 yards for the whole game until that 53-yard gain. All of a sudden, they've got a little bit of confidence.
Their best play had been a flip on a fake punt until that pitch and catch. Evans now takes off and runs it. Barrels forward and scores. That's the physical side of Gerard Evans. And the Hokies back within a touchdown.
They go empty. Like we said earlier, either the ball's out fast or the quarterback's going to run the football. And Kendall Joseph looked like had a chance to make a play on him. And Chris, as you said, it gives you a feel of how physical he can be when he lowers his shoulder to run the ball. He does not run the ball like a quarterback.
He's got that helmet off, marching down, a defiant attitude from this confident quarterback. Not much phases him, including falling down by a couple of touchdowns to Clemson. And all of a sudden, the Hokies fight back.
Yeah, he got a great block from the left guard, Teller, who's going to come around and pick up the block here. But watch this. One of the top linebackers for Clemson, Kendall Joseph, he just misses it, bounces off of him, in fact. In defense of Joseph, that's a big man that's running at full speed, and he's trying to come up with a tackle in the open field. But the block by Teller on Ben Boulware, you see number 10 right there trying to come in. Boom, block right there, run over top of Joseph and into the end zone.
It's a pretty good tackling defense. Venables pleased with their improvement in that area, but this dude is as tough a quarterback to tackle as there is in the country.
And Justin Fuentes said, listen, we got to weather the storm and we've got to be patient. We know how talented this team is. Look at that. Love that leadership from Evans.
Trinity Valley Community College, which won their junior college bowl game today down in Texas. He played for Coach Brad Smiley, arrived at Blacksburg, and he joined a veteran team. Okay, so he's got to immediately blend in, beat out Brendan Motley, who was the starter for almost all of last season. But the talent is obvious. So is the leadership, the toughness.
Yeah, and you linemen feed off of that energy from a quarterback, especially when it runs over top of a middle linebacker to get into the end zone.
And if Clemson can protect this lead and win this ACC championship, you would not bet against an Ohio State Clemson semifinal.
And I think Clemson would probably flip to 2 and Ohio State would go to 3.
But the Hokies still very much in this ball game after a slow start. 21-14 Tigers at the break here in Orlando. Justin Fuente, a word with the Hokies as they huddle up before leaving the field. And now let's get into Sam with Coach Fuente.
Coach, I imagine not the start you hoped for, but things changed quickly. The momentum going in your direction. What was the difference on that last scoring drive offensively?
Well, we hit the big play on the play action pass on first down, got the ball to Isaiah. And then we've started getting off the field on third downs. You know, their first drive, we didn't create any third downs, but, you know, we kind of settled down and played a little better.
Defensively, bringing a lot of pressure. Your assessment of their ability to get after Deshaun so far?
Well, we've done a decent job, and we've been in good position in the secondary. We've given them some first downs with some pass interference penalties. We got to trust our technique and know that we're in good position and go make the play.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Coach.
Each team at 5.1 yards per play in the first half. So Hokies within striking distance. Tigers on top by 7. The Capital One halftime report will come your way right after these messages. And welcome back to the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship Game, part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. You saw it. It was an electric start by Deshaun Watson and the Tigers offense. Touchdowns in their first 3 possessions. But the Hokies chipped away. It was a fake punt pass that sparked a touchdown drive. The defense began to play a whole lot better. And Kirk, we've got ourselves a ball game as Tech will get the ball to begin the second half.
A fake punt pass that was reviewed,
right, which
was also remarkable and eventually led to that touchdown. I think the passing game for Virginia Tech in the second half, you're going to see more and more opportunities for Gerard Evans trying to make plays. For Clemson now, it's about regrouping. They've got to go back to the tempo, the way they were spreading out that Virginia Tech defense. Give Bud Foster and the Hokies defense a lot of credit because they cranked up the pressure, and really it worked out for them, especially in that second quarter.
Penalties really hurt that Tech defense. There were 4 pass interference calls against them, 3 even on third down plays. Dr. Pepper spotlight coming up after this kickoff from Hugel. Two very different quarters for the Clemson offense. Tech, as you mentioned, a tough-minded team. Not the most talented. They've got good players, but they've got heart. They've got a lot of self-belief. And battle back time and again this season. Dual threat quarterback has not been able to make an impact at all running. Evans now will be swarmed and dropped. Sacked by big Dexter Lawrence. Covered sack.
This is the sign of an inexperienced quarterback in the pocket. Watch his head when he feels pressure. Watch his head go down. He is sensing and feeling, instead of an ability to find that second or third option, his eyes go down because he wants to take off and trust his legs. It's not there. Instantly he pulls down. If you could take away his primary, he's got a real problem.
Now he underthrows the screen for Hodges-Kirk, who still doesn't have a catch. That's only the second time he's been targeted tonight. That's trouble. They got to get him involved.
The fact that the second play of the second half, they go to him, tells you that the coaches said the same thing. They looked around and said, guys, we've got to be able to find that matchup with Hodges at 6'7" and be able to make plays in one-on-one matchups. That's really not his game, though. Underneath, catching the ball and making yards after the catch. He's more of a downfield threat with that length.
Got to get the ball downfield here. They need 16 to keep the drive going. Tigers give him time. Lost the ball for Isaiah Ford on the edge. Jump ball broken up. One of those 50-50 plays, and Tankersley won that battle.
They're very limited on what they can do on third down. You know it's either going to be a quick game or it's downfield. Tankersley watching and waiting the whole time, times it up perfectly, goes up with the left hand. An easy play for a very talented and athletic corner to be able to knock that ball away.
I guess it's easy when you're that good. Ludwig with the punt, drops the point and kicks a backspin, caught by Scott at the 10.
What a job by Brent Venables in that defense after that interception.
Two great stands by that defense here in the third quarter. Tigers with the football, up by 7. And Watson running all the way and gallops for about a dozen yards.
See, that's what Clemson needs to be able to do. Great block by the big tight end, Jordan Leggett. Gallman also picked up a great block. Get the quarterback run game going. It seems to open other aspects of the offense. The quick throws to the outside, the tempo. Up until that play, their last 13 plays had netted a total of 12 yards.
Watson again. That time escapes. Another stiff arm. He's got those long arms. He's got deceptive strength, and he got away from Edmonds again that time.
Yeah, we talked about when they start this second half, we thought we'd see them run the ball more. There's that long stiff arm you're talking about against one of the better players, Terrell Edmonds, and then the speed on the back end of that stiff arm. Now they go empty, and again, a lot of times you see quarterback draw here. Open, look at the middle of that defense.
Watson pressured, hit, gets it away. Catch made. Climbing the ladder is big Mike Williams, who finally gets involved here. Tuipuaka hit the quarterback, but nice pitch and catch.
And Tuipuaka lined up to the outside. See him right there. Deshaun Watson waited to the very last second and puts the ball up where Mike Williams can make a play on the ball. Great focus downfield on the read by Watson.
Tigers in Tech territory. Fourth catch of the night for Williams as Gallman spins inside the 45.
Everybody put a kind of an asterisk next to this drive because this is what they've gotten away from. The rhythm is impacted in this offense by Wayne Gallman and Deshaun Watson running the football. And if Gallman can't get his yards because you're losing up front the line of scrimmage, force him to bring an extra hat down by running Deshaun Watson.
And Watson running again all the way. Gallman is an excellent lead blocker when the quarterback runs it. He takes great pride in that. 3rd and 2 now.
And I think Deshaun Watson does a really good job on those stretch plays where he just eventually he patiently waits for the lineman to come around and waits to find, almost like a tailback would, that crease. That time lowered his, he's not afraid to lower that shoulder, and he does. Picks up some tough yards to give him a much more manageable 3rd down here.
Maverick Morris in replacing Tyrone Crowder, the starting right guard, who's out for this play. Leggett goes in motion. Watson looks that direction, fires, caught. Off and running is Williams, barreling down inside the red zone. Tigers threatening again.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup for Virginia Tech. Third down and short, you walk Alexander up tight. He tries to use his hands, but Mike Williams gets separation. And on third down, boy, it's such rhythm there and confidence with Watson throwing the ball to Mike Williams.
Strength, speed, he'll run high 4.4s or a 4.5 perhaps. Strong hands. Mike Williams, top-rated receiver by Todd McShay in his draft board. Watson, another first down gain that puts the Hokies defense on its heels now.
And what happens, not only on their heels, what it does is it impacts the defense's eyes. Now you're going to see these safeties. Now they're worried about Deshaun Watson running. Now you start coming downhill. That's when you go play action and you hit the tight end or the receiver behind it with the safeties out of position.
Scott, pop pass. Stutter steps. Patiently picks his way for a first and goal. Tough to stop that play.
Sure is. Especially when they're running the quarterback so much.
You see the jet sweep, Kirk. Now they've replaced it with that because it's a very low-risk play. If he can't handle it, just an incomplete pass.
Absolutely.
First and goal. It's Leggett motioning in. Two backs in the backfield. And Watson hands it off to Goldman. Goldman scores. And the Tigers back to their crisp ways. They began the game 89-yard touchdown drive.
See Leggett pulling around there, does a nice job. Right guard comes around. They're rotating different people in there. That time looked like it was Maverick Morris, who's been in there some for Tyrone Crowder. That's a heck of a drive and a great answer there by Clemson. Get their offense's confidence back.
15th rushing touchdown for Gallman. It's been a quiet night for him. Could be a steady diet of him now.
And go back to the beginning of that drive, Chris. It was the running of Deshaun Watson that got the offense back into that rhythm and eventually mixed in a few passes. And eventually it's the touchdown run by Wayne Gallman.
A very impressive 89-yard touchdown drive. And the Tigers, for the third time tonight, are up by 2 touchdowns. Murphy will bring it out. Henry Murphy knocked down at the 20. Well, they're trying to get a running game going, but it has not been there all night against that tough Tigers front.
Well, that is so impressive. It's great to see Austin Bryant back in the lineup. Missed the first 6 games. Has been coming around each week, getting a little bit more confident. Foot surgery in August. With the loss of Kevin Dodd and Shaq Lawson, they thought Bryant would be their guy off the edge, but because of that injury, he has been slow to come around. But we've seen him look like the player we expected him to be in recent weeks. That time just got off the block and made the play.
The factor in the sack yards, Kirk, they have 10 net rushing yards tonight. Evans ducked his head, thought about running, now decides to pick up the head and loft the ball for Hodges. Intercepted on the sidelines. What a play by Tankersley, who has won that one-on-one battle of star players tonight.
And this is what you have to be careful of. This is what Justin Fuentes wanted to avoid. Just throwing it up and hoping the taller receiver Hodges makes the play. He bobbled it a bit, but it looks like he secured the ball and got his feet down for the interception.
Just squeeze the tip of the ball. That's some hand strength, Kirk.
I thought Brent Venables was going to make the play for him there. You could see him in the background running down the sideline. He's fired up.
Think about the receivers who work on the jugs machine to strengthen the hands. Tankersley just gripped the top of that football and held on to it. I mean, it's a tough thing because we saw Don Brown and his defense at Michigan. Jim Levitt at Colorado did a tremendous job. Pruitt in Alabama, they don't allow much. And then one offensive guy, Canada, over there, who did have a very good game against Venables' defense.
Yeah, Don Brown probably would be the leader in my mind. The impact that he had on that Michigan defense. Jim Levitt, what he did at Colorado, all those guys deserving of being finalists.
By the way, Bud Foster won that in 06, finalist 4 times. Look out, Deion Kane's loose. Kane cuts it back and still running inside the 15. finally, number 8 joins the party and makes a big impact play.
Faison goes for the football. Took a chance by going after the ball, and that's why he gave up the big play.
First catch for Kane, good for 39 yards. They have so many talented weapons, you forget how good a guy like Kane is when he has a quiet first 3 quarters. Watson keeps it. Gets a block. Muscles down to the 2.
Boy, he is so dangerous in the open field. Looked like Chuck Clark had a chance to bring him down, but Deshaun Watson right now is running and throwing.
From Scott in motion. They fake it to him. Watson with the keeper. Fighting. Gets shoved into the end zone as the Tigers are getting closer to the playoff spot.
How about Mitch Hyatt, the sophomore left tackle? We just talked about Deshaun Watson and all his strength. He's strong, but I think
he was flexing after the carry, but credit the big fellas.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's a legal play. It's funny to watch Mitch Hyatt there. He just kind of saw his quarterback fighting at the 1-yard line, and he just lowered his shoulder and ran into that pile.
Watson adds a rushing touchdown to go with his 2 touchdown passes. And Clemson now biggest lead of the night by 21.
Watch the left tackle come in here and eventually get involved in the play. Watch him peek around his shoulder. He says, oh, wait a second. Boom. Push him in.
Despite Watson's interception, they rose up. And Clemson with another touchdown mark should go up by 3 scores now. This is a team that Sweeney told me he feels is much fresher mentally and physically compared to last year. They came into Charlotte Kirk kind of on fumes, just trying to get to the finish line against the Tar Heels. They recharged for the playoff run. But this year, he really feels they're fresher, better offensively, defensively, and in special teams.
I also think a loss to Pitt a few weeks ago helped them. It helped them because it got them to refocus, and it gave them almost a second life approach to the rest of their season. They've been playing with an edge to them the last couple of weeks, and that'll continue, I'm sure, into the postseason.
Hokies just desperately trying to get something going on the ground here. It's been futile tonight.
I think the most surprising thing to me is that Gerard Evans cannot run the football at all. I mean, he had the 1 run for the touchdown, but for the most part, he has been contained. Not a lot of room for him to work on that defensive line.
They bring the blitz on 2nd down. Evans tries to dump it off. This is Rodgers. Muscled out. Yeah, he only has 4 rushes for positive yardage. The 11-yard touchdown run and a whole bunch of sacks to negate that.
But what you're seeing also from Brent Venables is his corners. He feels, I think he has a great deal of confidence, feeling favorable about the matchups out there, because they have not, other than the throw where they lost Isaiah Ford in coverage, they really haven't been able to get the ball downfield. So he's aggressive with those linebackers and mixing up looks, but bringing pressure and twisting the line.
Officially a 9-yard 3rd down play. They back off. No one rushing for Clemson. Literally 0. Hodges, 50-50 ball, goes up and makes the catch at the 30. Beats Ryan Carter in a bizarre play, but a crucial conversion.
Never seen that. 11 drops. 11 guys, and then eventually
it only mattered the 1 guy downfield, though, right?
Well, the only thing that happens there is you give Evans a chance to get your tall receiver matched up against Ryan Carter, who's 5'9". Just throw it up in the air and let Hodges at 6'7" go up and make a play. All that pressure has been working so well. I'm surprised they threw the change up there with dropping 11.
First half play, Evans now cuts it up. And not much. Hodges, a hoops player. He said, I'll take that anytime. 6'7" versus 5'9". I'm just box him out.
Watch the D-line. All of them. Every single guy. There's no way you're going to throw that underneath. There's 7 in coverage.
But this is an all-time mismatch. I mean,
yeah, look at that.
Carter's a gutsy little player, but that's just too much height.
What Evans also did is he let him come back to the ball, or he could really use his body to keep Carter away from it.
Trayvon McMillan gets the edge. McMillan knifing, barreling down, and scores. And Tech, gritty as always, stays alive with a huge touchdown. In 2 plays, they went from 3rd long to the end zone.
Brent Venables is going to look back at that 3rd down and long, and I don't know if he had to be anticipating a quick short throw, but gave Evans all day, obviously, by not rushing anybody. And just put the ball up into the air for Hodges to make that play and created some momentum.
42-yard gain to set up McMillan's touchdown run.
Yeah, and the blocks, you can see both the guards are going to pull around to lead, but watch the seal blocks. You also see the big fella get in there and help out Sam Rogers right there in motion. That block, and now watch both guards. Submarine block there. Good effort by Hodges, blocking Tankersley, and I don't know what Jadar Johnson coming in late on this play.
Tankersley just kind of
pushed it.
So that will be a conversation of the sidelines. Some poor tackling in the secondary, and the Hokies just hang around. Slide drives the kick deep into the end zone. C.J. Fuller is the back. He's got it, but gains only about 1.5 yards.
If you're Bud Foster at this stage in a game, about 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and because of the way Watson's been running, you can't let that happen, obviously, and he knows that. You got to start rolling the dice here a little bit, get extra bodies up in that box to try to negate the potential of Deshaun Watson running the football.
See Bud making signals relayed to the group. Middle linebacker. He's rush only 4, but Watson feels the pressure, dumps it off inside to Fuller. Dangerous play as it bounced off his hands.
Yeah, they're trying to set up a screen there to Fuller. Watch the center, Guillermo, get out, trying to lead him. 57, you see him trying to get out there to pick up a block. But Clemson and Deshaun Watson catch a break with that ball tipped and up in the air. That is no man's land and easily could be an interception.
And the Tigers need 9 now on 3rd down. They pick up the pressure. The delivery is to the far side to Leggett, who's not going to make it. And Hokies force a punt.
Yep. You had a run there by Fuller. They try to go with a screen on 2nd down, and then it's 3rd down. That's what we saw towards the end of the first half. That's exactly the sequence of plays that we saw that played into the hands of Virginia Tech. What was the difference there? And you can't call quarterback run all the time, but that's what, that's working, force them to stop that until until it puts them in a position where they're going to be able to do some other things.
See if the Hokies come after this or peel back. Well, they'll set up a return. Teasdall a high kick, and Carroll a fair catch at the 35. So Gerard Evans, who'd had such a frustrating time tonight, Kirk, as a passer and a runner, makes that big downfield throw to Hodges, sparks a touchdown, and now back in it, looking for ways to continue this momentum.
Yeah, and really it's been a couple pass plays like that. You know, they had the broken play where Isaiah Ford got behind Tankersley. That was earlier in the game. That eventually led to a touchdown. And then that bizarre 11-man drop by Clemson on 3rd down where they just put it up in the air. That led to another touchdown. Other than that, those are really the 2 plays that have been their best production in the passing game.
They got 4 of the single coverage to the right. They look to the left, and it's incomplete. Try to get it in the slot there. It's broken up. Henry Murphy's first chance at a touch, and Ryan Carter was in coverage. 2nd down. Final minute now of this 3rd quarter. Hokies within contact here. Some similarities to last year's ACC Championship game when the Heels were trying to hang around and fight back against Clemson. McMillan in motion. Evans keeps it. And shows his muscle, picks up 9. It'll be 3rd and a yard.
Yeah, that's Terod Evans right there. I mean, As soon as he put the ball into the stomach of McMillan and pulled that ball out, he just started to accelerate. And Line did a nice job that time of giving him some room to be able to square his shoulders and lower that shoulder. And I thought he might get 5 or 6. Instead, he picked up 9.
He's going to throw it on 3rd and 1. Phillips makes the catch. Had to go back behind him to catch it. Jalen Williams stopped him. It'll be just enough to move those sticks.
Big time catch by Cam Phillips on a 3rd down and short. That's a heck of a difficult execution here. Comes back, somehow secures it, and then has to get off at Jalen Williams.
And now Phillips comes in motion, takes the jet sweep handoff. Good patience, picks his way, knocked out of bounds right at midfield on the final play of the 3rd quarter. So the Tigers in front, but Tech hanging around, down by 14 at the end of 3 in Orlando. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Set for the final quarter. Clemson 15 minutes away from an ACC championship, their 2nd straight, and another trip to the playoff. But the Hokies have other ideas here at midfield on the march. Evans gets it out quickly to Phillips again. He's been very busy, and they're able to move the 6, Kirk. Yeah. It's amazing how that one pitch downfield to Hodges kind of turned everything around for this offense.
Sure did, and they're finding ways to get the ball to Cam Phillips, who reminds me of just a running back with the ball in his hands. He is very slippery and has enough lower body strength to pull away from those arm tackles.
8 catches tonight. Evans keeps it. Leans forward for 2 before Cleveland Farrell knocked him down.
He's kind of taking a peek there as an RPO, run pass option, where he might want to throw the football. The corner that time, Marcus Edmond, collapsed down, and he thought about throwing it, but then just lowered his shoulder to pick up a couple yards.
Evans bobbled the snap and delivers to Ford, who goes up and makes a catch for a first down at the 33.
And remember, Tankersley is out of the game, and it's forced Edmond into that boundary corner spot. Pretty good job of securing the ball, staying in there with Carlos Watkins, who's been in the backfield all night. And I'll tell you, this group of wide receivers, led by Isaiah Ford, a very, very talented bunch, and a great effort by Ford to climb the ladder to make that play.
Ford going over 1,000 receiving yards on the season tonight. 3 for 80.
Tankersley now back at the bottom of the screen.
McMillan with a little space. They'll take that kind of gain on first down compared to what they've been getting throughout much of the night.
It's a heck of a matchup tonight has been Ben Boulware and Sam Rogers when they get head-to-head.
You knew it would be, right?
Absolutely.
Look at the ultimate Tiger and the ultimate Hokie.
Oh, my gosh. That is a lot of fun to watch those two block and watch Rogers block Ben Boulware.
I bet they'll shake hands after the game and say, I enjoyed it, buddy.
For sure.
On 2nd and 7, pump fake for Evans. Tucks it and kind of weaves his way. Earns about a yard. It'll set up 3rd down. Boulware again involved.
They've been very active tonight. Plays in space, is asked to play in space, but also blitzes from time to time, and does a great job of keeping his eyes in the backfield and very, very aware of the threat that Evans has of taking off and getting out of there to pick up yards running.
The Hokies have 2 plays here to get the 7 yards. Down by 14. Tigers fans bringing some noise. It's McMillan who motioned out. Slant with Phillips one more time. Has a first down at the 20. Tough to stop it.
Yep. Great awareness from Jalen Williams. Blitzes here. Creates a cushion there. And Evans gets the ball out quickly. See the blitz? Williams almost got his hand on it, but a nice job of recognizing it by Evans. And with that soft cushion on 3rd down, once he recognized it, it's pretty easy on the execution there on the throw to Phillips.
It's been 2 big downfield throws, both kind of weird plays, and then a whole bunch of slants and underneath stuff as the Hokies try to find a way to piece together a positive drive. Evans took a look, now runs. Big fella rumbling inside the 10, barrels down to a 1st and goal at the 5.
Well, he runs with a different energy about him when he gets into the red zone. You know, he really does. I mean, he runs with a purpose that he is going to the goal line, and you better get in his way to slow him down. I'd run him again in there.
At 15. He's got it again. Good call. Boom. You're not going to stop him. Evans just barging into the end zone, and the Hokies are back within 8.
That's heart. That's want. That's a quarterback that has confidence. Look at that hole. There's not a hole. He squeezes through, but he keeps his legs churning and goes right over top one of the top linebackers in the country.
He looked up one of the toughest dudes around and just ran him right over.
Linemen love a quarterback with that kind of attitude.
You know, it wasn't a great Notre Dame team that they beat a couple of games ago, but they came from 17 down. Evans had a nasty cut in his finger, freezing cold day. He didn't care. He's bleeding. He just found a way to make runs just like this to get the Hokies to the finish line. Back within a touch. Here's the ACC Championship Trophy, which will be presented immediately following the game over on ESPN3. And the Hokies have made this a tight game again, down only 7. First and 15 after the penalty. It's McLeod in motion. But Gallman's got it, and the Hokies rise up, and Alexander from his corner position with the tackle for loss.
Yeah, it starts with Ekanum getting penetration. Watch how quick he shoots this gap. That's the key, being able to get down in a hurry. They slanted that way, but his eyes were up. He saw the ball go to the hands of Gallman and made a play, and eventually came up with a tackle for a loss.
The penalty and the loss, and it's quickly 2nd and 19. Hokies rush only 4. Watson has time and looks downfield for Renfro, and he makes a diving catch out near midfield. Hunter Renfro's first grab of the night is a huge one.
Heck of a matchup with Mook Reynolds. Mook Reynolds, watch him fall. He slips, somehow regains his balance, but it's too late. The ball is thrown on the money, and a heck of an effort there by Renfro. His hands look like they got backwards, but he still came up with a catch. 31
yards, and now Gallman spins into Hokie territory. The former high school quarterback, walk on here.
Watch his hands. They kind of got, the ball got behind him a little bit, almost reversed his hands the way you might normally do it, but still such a sure-handed receiver. I'm surprised it's his first catch of the night.
Sure-handed receiver who had a broken hand and missed about 4 games, and the offense harder to stop when he's back.
Good hard count, tips the hand there. Now they know what to expect from Virginia Tech's defense.
Gallman dropped after gaining a first down at the 41.
Those are the little things that Deshaun Watson brings to the table and veteran quarterbacks bring to the table. You see it all the time in the NFL. A good hard count mixed in. The defensive line, the linebackers flinch. They show you where they're going, and then he's able to adjust and let the offensive linemen and backs know exactly where the defense is headed. Hokies blitzing here.
He brings 6. Watson gets it out quickly, and Scott with the catch there in front of Stroman.
Those linebackers are leaning, and when you blitz your linebackers and you have soft coverage, that's an easy decision for Deshaun Watson to just take a quick 6 yards on 1st and 10.
2nd and 14. Watson gets it out, but way overthrown. Not even big Mike Williams could come up with that one. It'll be 3rd and long.
Trevin Hill, the freshman, affected Deshaun Watson. You hear defensive coordinators every week, we talk to them, and they always say it's not about the sack. we have to affect the quarterback, and sometimes that gets lost in translation. What that means there is Hill came around and almost gave the impression that he was going to get to Watson, and that forced Watson to get the ball out of his hands and with the errant throw.
Hokies again showing pressure. They bring it on third down. Watson hit, delivers to Kane, who makes the catch for a first down inside the 15. Second big downfield play that Kane has made as Deshaun stood in there.
This is a touch. He baits him, waits, he pulls him to him. Last second, ball goes up in the air. Whether it's Mike Williams at 6'3", or Deon Kane at 6'1", he's always going to put the ball up in the air, and that's against a linebacker. A mismatch. He just waited for him to clear and get in position before he put the ball up in the air with a nice touch.
Yeah, that's a play to remember if Clemson can hold this lead and win. They got 30 on 3rd and 14. Watson keeps it, flips it. Renfro scores. A little tricky wrinkle, and the Tigers are back up 2 touchdowns.
This is a version of a triple option here by Deshaun Watson. Coming down the line, staying parallel to the line of scrimmage. He baits the corner and the outside linebacker towards him where they think it's a quarterback run. And there's Hunter Renfro, essentially like a pitch back in the option, waiting out there on the sideline. And he just throws it out there to him.
Renfro shut out until this drive, made the big catch out near midfield, and then converts that little flip. And Clemson overcoming 3 penalties on that drive. They lost their focus mentally, but Watson and Renfro is making big plays, and they find the end zone anyway.
Don't forget that great catch by Hunter Renfro to keep the drive alive. This is that big 3rd down play, Chrissy, you said. Let's not forget that one. And the very next play, they attack. Give Deshaun Watson a chance. He does a good job of selling the run. Renfro's waiting there on the outside. Touchdown, Tigers.
Clemson back up by 14 midway 4th quarter. After Deshaun Watson's 3rd touchdown pass tonight, 37th for the season. He breaks Taj Boyd's single season school record from 4 years ago. Murphy. Flag comes in. He's tackled at the 23. Little pop pass. Rodgers makes a juggling catch, off and running, and tracked down at the 42 by Boulware. Now it's time for trickery from the Hokies.
Now you're selling option 2. Great effort here by Rodgers. Linebackers come up. They're thinking the big fella Evans is going to run it. Everybody comes up. Little pop pass there to the big man.
Got 32 yards. And now they find C.J. Carroll, the other speedy slot receiver, his first catch of the night.
Watch how he sells this. Look, I'm going to run the football. He lowers his shoulder. Linebackers come up. Nobody's left in the middle of the field. Heck of an effort again by Rodgers to secure that football, to come up with those big yards, and Boulware eventually brings him down.
Again, Rodgers, the former walk-on, so close to the Beamer family. Wants to play in the NFL. He's going to go to the Senior Bowl. Thinks he can make it as a special teams guy. Certainly does it all for this offense.
He gives you everything that he has.
Attitude.
Yeah, and he can play a variety of positions. And last week, because of injuries and because he's Sam Rodgers and he's got a great story, they let him play against Virginia senior day as a tailback and then a career day. Over 100 yards carrying the ball.
And he wore the number 25, the rotating number, in honor of Beamer in that game. And now Evans barrels straight forward. He easily picks up the first down. Hokies are threatening again. This team will not go away.
This is becoming their best play here in the second half. The jet motion, which freezes the linebacker's eyes. A little bit of a fake. And then coming downhill in a hurry is Gerard Evans running that football.
And there's an option pitch. Phillips, the slot receiver, takes it and makes a short gain. It's the part of the field where you spotted that there's a different look in the eye of Evans as a runner. He said, just
out about it.
You call my number, just give me the rock here.
Yeah, he's on a mission when he runs the ball down here.
From the pocket, loops it downfield. Isaiah Ford is wide, or excuse me, Phillips wide open for a touchdown. And the Hokies back within a touchdown. Will not go away.
Sure won't. It is a rail route that Clemson lost to coverage on Cam Phillips. He's in the inside. Works his way down the sideline. A little pump fake. Clears coverage. The linebacker that time, Jalen Williams, lost him.
Different kind of a route for Phillips. He's been running those little slants all night. It's Evans' first touchdown pass tonight.
I love Cam Phillips. Doesn't have huge numbers, but he's been consistent. 10 receptions on a night, 70 yards, but he's been a go-to guy, and he's making plays. See that little out and then up. That's where Jalen Williams got confused there. Johnson tries to come over to save the day to help out, but as you said, Chris, Hokies just kind of hanging around.
Sure do. Did you know, Kirk, that Don Strock held the Virginia Tech single-season passing game record until right now, until Joette Evans just broke it. Go back to 1972, the former Dolphin quarterback.
I had no idea. Think about what's at stake in this game for Clemson.
Absolutely. They've carried all the pressure of the favorite, holding that playoff position coming in here, and now Watson, in 1st and 15, gets the penalty yardage back.
You know, when you have one team with everything to lose and the other team is looking up like, oh my gosh, we're down 7. Hey, we're still in this thing. And now it comes down to Dabo Swinney and your approach as a head coach. Do you play not to lose? Do you play to win? You and I both know Dabo Swinney pretty well. I think with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, I think you see him continue to coach, to play to win.
Well, if there's any quarterback you can trust, it's number 4 in the white jersey tonight. Watson again. Into heavy traffic. That's a fairly conservative call on 2nd and 20, Kirk.
It sure was. Now you're looking at 3rd down and a long way to go.
Remember, we talked about the game in Charlotte. 19-point lead in the 4th quarter. Then Clemson was just trying to nurse it to the finish line on fumes. Has a similar feeling now.
I got to think on 3rd down, you got to find your tight end here.
Watson steps up, delivers a low throw, underthrew Kane, who was pretty well covered. It's 4th down. Hokies were going to get the football back. 4:11 to play.
Make him stepping up in the pocket, but Deon Kane is open. I mean, he has the inside, and the ball is thrown short. Now, he did have to step up. They rushed just 3, dropped 8, but Deon Kane got to the inside and was open. The ball just came up a little bit short.
Teasdale's not had a great night punting the ball. Some short kicks. The Hokies have not often tried to come after him. Let's see if they do this time. Tech. Nope, peeling back. And again, it's a high punt, but not very long. And Carroll backpedals, and Virginia Tech, trying to shake up the playoff chase, will take over from their 41, down only 7. Evans incomplete. Trying to get it to C.J. Carroll, who was backpedaling.
It's quarterback's feet again. Chris, you talked right up earlier what's affecting his accuracy. Watch his feet. See how he short arms the ball. He doesn't take his normal stride he would take. That's when a quarterback hurries a throw, that's what can happen to his feet and ultimately again affect that accuracy.
Ford wrestled down right at midfield. It'll be a yard short of the marker. 3rd down.
I really believe that Clemson needs to tighten up the coverage and make it tougher on Evans. Evans does not like, if you make his receivers have to work to get to their spot, ultimately we've seen him a lot tonight put his head down and want to take off. Soft cushion makes for an easy throw for Evans on the outside there.
Talking about an offense in the Hokies that went 3 and out. Their first 3 possessions of this half have put together 3 touchdowns.
The game clock to 3 minutes and 48 seconds, please. 3:48.
Get 6 seconds back here, 3rd and 1. But this offense was reeling. Couldn't find any production anywhere. Came alive for a second time tonight. Evans checks with the sideline for the play call.
Plenty of time here on the play clock.
It's Rodgers in the backfield. Evans took a peek downfield and then took off. It's going to be real close at the Tigers' 49. Lawrence stopped him.
Favorable spot. They're already going to move the sticks. First down.
Where have we seen that before?
Yeah, that's right. Boy, you got to like their chances when Four lowers his shoulder, don't you? I mean, he's always falling forward.
Well, just enough. Now a quick throw. And a completion down near the 41-yard line. One more time. That's your guy, Cam Phillips.
Yeah, Cam Phillips in space. Making it tight catches tonight. So if you're a Virginia Tech fan, with the way this game has gone, the fact your team's in this position says a lot about the future under Justin Fuentes. The heart, the character, and the fight in this team has been really impressive.
No doubt. Inside of 3 minutes. McMillan motions back in, blocks for the quarterback who looks far side, and Phillips is wide open and out inside the 28.
Chris, again, it's Tankersley. He had the big cushion on the other side. Now look at this cushion. Look at the cushion here. He's sitting back, dropping, and I know you don't want to give up the easy score, but he's making easy throws for Evans.
Clemson is just trying to get to the finish line. Hang on for dear life. Hang on to their ACC title in the playoff position. A bobbled snap. Funky looking pitch to McMillan. Not much going on that far side.
That time they tightened up their coverage, and Ben Boulware again matched up there with Sam Rodgers, was able to get there. That's a tough play with not a lot of room there. Back into the boundary. But remember, do not forget about Evans as a runner down here.
High anxiety for Coach Sweeney on the far side. He's lost the baseball cap. Approaching 2 minutes to play. Evans takes a peek, but then heads to the main mission, which is to run straight ahead. It'll be 3rd down.
Safety that time, Van Smith, the linebacker, Kendall Joseph. They're trying to get their shoulders in front of him because an arm tackle is not going to slow him down. They've got 2 downs here to pick up this first down. If it's a throw, it's probably a quick pass, quick slant.
Instead, Evans takes off, will be trapped for a loss. 4th down coming up. Cleveland Farrell got him. And the Tigers defense, which has made so many big stands in the last couple of years, on the brink here. A timeout taken as Fuente will ponder this call. They need 6.
Boy, Farrell early in this game was making some plays. Comes up at a big time off the edge right here, working his way to the inside. Watch Evans. He wants to go downfield. It's almost like he's setting up that quarterback draw, but Farrell takes it away with that outside penetration. Comes up in a huge play there on 3rd down. Isaiah Ford, who will be at the top of your screens, been their go-to receiver most of the year. And you also have the 6'7" Bucky Hodges, who will be all the way down at the bottom. Who do you go to win the one-on-one matchup?
Here comes pressure. Evans hit. Intercepted. And the Tigers are going to hang on. Tankersley off the pressure from Kendall Joseph. And Clemson is going to repeat as ACC champions if they could just bleed out the final 111.
Chris, they not only brought Joseph, but they brought Ben Boulware from the outside. Tankersley comes up with it. Here's Joseph who'll get there. They walked Boulware out here. He also also gets in there, actually gets into the face of Evans as he's trying to throw off to his right, but Joseph gets there first. And all Evans can do, he knows he's about to get hit, is just throw it and hope. But credit Brent Venables for the play call there on third down, rolling the dice by saying, hey, we're aggressive by nature. Let's bring the linebackers on the blitz.
And then on fourth down, blitzing both guys. You have to have guts to do that. You don't get home, Kirk, you could have a touchdown in a tie game. And now Tech with just 2 timeouts really can't do much about this. And Deshaun Watson, after a very sharp start to this game, will be the unrivaled player of the game, throwing for 288, rushing for 74, 5 total touchdowns, just like he had last year in the championship game.
I think after what happened in Indianapolis today with how Penn State came back, that 4th spot, that debate over that 4th spot.
Watson seals it with a run that gains a first down in the final minute, and the Hokies finally will be broken.
It's a weight that we saw Florida State have to endure a couple years ago after winning the title. It's a weight that we saw Ohio State endure last year. And then I think this year Clemson, despite losing to Alabama, felt that because of Deshaun Watson and the high, almost unrealistic expectations for him individually and for this team. And until they finally had to lose a game to Pitt, they've become a different team.
No doubt Watson admits he was pressing early. But Deshaun, who will graduate in 3 years, a week from Thursday, the first in his family to graduate from college, caps another brilliant campaign. And the Tigers will head back for that chance to compete for a championship. Off to the playoff again. And Deshaun will see him along the Ward's Trail, perhaps in New York again as a Heisman finalist a week from tonight. Much respect shown there, and much deserved by Justin Fuentes and the Hokies tonight.
Yeah, tonight will end up being about Clemson, but Gerard Evans, who's a junior, who's back next year. Justin Fuentes, his first year taking over for Frank Beamer, the legendary Frank Beamer, to get to the ACC title and play the way they did tonight. Got to be really excited about the future in Blacksburg.
Fireworks in Orlando. Let's hear from Dabo Swinney with Sam.
Well, Coach, they just wouldn't go away. But you pull out the big victory, if you can hear me, over the fireworks. What made the difference down the stretch?
Well, listen, as you just said, and hats off to B-Tech. We had a 3-touchdown lead, and we got a 2-touchdown lead, and you're right, they wouldn't go away. You know, but they're a champion too, and that's what I told them. There was 2 champions on the field tonight, and we wanted to be the one to hold the trophy up. I'm just so proud of our guys. We certainly made some mistakes and things like that, but we had some huge drives. Had an unbelievable drive, that last touchdown. Renfro, Dion, and just some great running by 4. I told him he had to have 100 tonight. I don't know what he had, but it may have been close. But just the heart and the guts and the will to go win. So 28 years since we've been back-to-back champions, and we wanted to change that tonight, and we got that done. But I can't say enough about Virginia Tech and the job that they've done over there. You know, Justin and his staff, those guys, they did an unbelievable job. We're fortunate to win the game. We're thankful. We're proud that we're 12-1, and you know, we've earned an opportunity to go play in the playoff. I think we got a heck of a football team. We're going to be a tough out for somebody. But listen, I'm thankful for the good Lord, because this was a moment that, you know, I give him all the glory for it.
Coach, I'm glad you mentioned the playoff, because now you're done with this part of the season. We can actually talk about it. Yeah. Where do you think you fit? You've been following this thing.
We fit somewhere. You know, I think we're a great football team. We've been a great football team. You know, we back-to-back, you know, whatever, 13-0 last year at this time, 12-1, you know, 25-1 or whatever the last 2 seasons. I definitely think we're one of the best teams. You know, we just want an opportunity to go compete and have an opportunity to see if we can, you know, get it done this year. But you got to win your conference first. Yeah. And I can't, you know, this is back-to-back years, and it's hard to do that. That's why it's been 28 years since it's happened here.
Well, congratulations, Coach.
Clemson secures their second ACC title in a row and figures to head back to that Final Four bracket. The trophy presentation will be over on ESPN3, 42-35. A hard-fought game tonight here in Orlando. This championship game was produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. For our entire talented and dedicated crew on ABC all season long, we thank them. We thank you for watching. We'll see you in the postseason, the Ford Wrap-Up Show, right now with Cassidy.